Russian troops have shifted in the Pokrovsk sector from relying on small infantry raids to launching more conventional assaults supported by armored vehicles, NV reports, citing an officer from Ukraine's Rubizh Brigade. Despite this renewed pressure, Ukraine continues to hold the northern part of the city, and recent Russian claims of capturing it were debunked by Ukrainian officials. Volodymyr Cherniak, an officer from the 4th Rubizh Brigade of Ukraine's National Guard, said on Ukrainian television on the 29th of December that Russian forces are now conducting classic mechanized storming operations under tank cover. He noted that this marks a significant tactical pivot after a period where Russia favored deploying small groups. Ukrainian Drone Forces Commander Robert Brovdy has stated that a recent drone strike in the Russian-occupied coastal town of Berdyansk resulted in more than 120 casualties among Russian military intelligence personnel, including over 51 killed, according to operationally confirmed intelligence. The commander of the Ukrainian Army's Unmanned Systems Forces, SBS, Robert Madyar Brovdy, reported on 28 December that the Russian GRU's 14th Brigade suffered major losses during a joint operation by SBS and Ukrainian Special Operations Forces, SSO, in occupied Donetsk Oblast. The GRU is the main directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation. Brovdy emphasized that these figures are based on confirmed operational intelligence, but not included in the SBS's formal tally system, as the latter requires video documentation of fatalities, which was not possible in this case. The attack reportedly struck both the GRU's command post and personnel housing in Berdyansk, Donetsk Oblast. The strike was carried out by external drone pilots of the 1st Separate Center for Unmanned Systems, formerly the 14th Separate Regiment. The 14th GRU Brigade targeted in the attack is based in Russia's Ussurisk. The Ukrainian OSINT channel Cyberboroshno noted that the drones struck 5 separate buildings, with one being hit twice. The operation employed domestically developed FP-1 or FP-2 drones to carry out the precision strikes, Militarny says. Both the command center and living quarters of the GRU unit were hit during the mission. If Brovdy's figures are accurate, Militarny says, the 26th December operation marks the largest single-day loss for both the 14th GRU Brigade and Russia's main directorate of the General Staff, GRU, overall. For context, combined GRU losses during both Chechen wars reportedly totaled around 320 operatives, meaning this one strike could represent nearly half that number. Russian troops executed 5 unarmed Ukrainian servicemen in 2 separate incidents this month. One case occurred during a Russian assault in Donetsk Oblast on 27 December, Ukraine's Prosecutor General's office reported. The other on 20th December near Huliaipol in Zaporizhzhia Oblast, Deep State says. The Prosecutor General's office reported on 29th December that 2 Ukrainian Armed Forces servicemen were executed by Russian troops during fighting in the village of Shakov, Pokrovsk district. According to the statement, the 2 soldiers were performing a combat task on one of the positions when Russian troops captured them during an assault. The office said that Russian forces, while threatening with firearms, forced one of the prisoners to partially undress before executing both unarmed servicemen. After confirming that both captives were dead, the Russian troops removed clothing from the second soldier's body as well. The Donetsk Oblast Prosecutor's Office has launched a pre-trial investigation into the war crime under Part 2 of Article 438 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, violations of the laws, and customs of war, combined with intentional murder. Urgent investigative actions are ongoing to establish all the circumstances and to identify the specific individuals responsible. On 28 December, Ukrainian OSINT group Deep State reported another case of execution of 3 captured Ukrainian soldiers. According to their post on Telegram, the incident occurred on 20th December south of Huliaipol. Deep State stated that soldiers from one of the mechanized brigades were assigned to reoccupy positions that had been previously abandoned without authorization by another unit. However, Russian troops were already waiting at the location and shot the soldiers. The group published a photo of the bodies and a map showing the exact location of the incident. Ukrainian company Pokrovsk Drones has released combat footage showing its FPV drones striking Russian targets while guided over fiber optic cable, according to Militarny. The firm stated the drones operated at a range of up to 50 kilometers. The drones were guided via fiber optic cable, with the company claiming the range reached 50 kilometers. The footage shows hits on a tank, various vehicles, a Chinese Desert Cross 1000-3 ATV, a motorcycle, and Russian fighters. Militarny notes that Pokrovsk Drones announced the beginning of combat tests for FPV drones using fiber optic control on 19 November 2025 and soon reported their first confirmed hits.